The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report Live. I'm your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live here from NGC Studios and Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida. Joined here tonight by Mortheous. And I think
from upstate New York.
Yep. And we just received word a few minutes before the show that good brother Max Sand, who is usually our other co-host, has been sick the past couple of days, and sorry to hear that. Although part of me thinks that Max maybe saw the title of tonight's show and was like, oh, fuck, we're talking about baby boomers. I gotta sit this one out, guys. Because that's a total Max, that's something that I could totally see Max doing.
I shit on baby boomers every other week. I'm gonna sit this one out, guys.
Yeah. So but no, in all seriousness, Max has been feeling Max has been feeling a bit under the weather. So prayers to him. I'm sure I'll be back next week, or even maybe on Saturday with the sandwich makers. They've been doing some fun VR stuff over there and whatnot. So anyway, though, before I get into tonight's show, I do want to take care of a couple housekeeping things. First off,
buy the book.
Sins of the Assassin, and the entire Shadows of Deception saga are available for sale. Thanks for making this, along with Night of the Vigilante, two of my best-selling books of all time for especially for 2025. So you can buy both these on Amazon. Link, in the description. So you get your copy in ebook and paperback and audiobook, read by the great Doug Green. Guaranteed to put some more testosterone in your body and make your balls bigger. Supposedly.
And put some hair on your chest.
Yes. So, anyway, buy the books. And I haven't really promoted this too much, but if you already have purchased all of the books and or you would like to make a donation to the show, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee page. So you can go to buymeacoffee.com/WhitFellsReport and leave a donation and a message. And that's kind of like the equivalent of, I guess, like a super chat or something. And if you're feeling really generous, you can, I guess people can do like monthly recurring donations. But that's in the show notes and the description as well. So really appreciate that. Also, really just appreciate everyone who has given the show a 5-star review and shared it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, because that really helps out as well tremendously. And we really appreciate that. All right. So
Before we get too far there, Sammy, gotta ask this: how do you like your coffee, sir?
how do I like my coffee? Well, I like my coffee the Jack Carr way, which I don't know if that probably doesn't mean anything to you more, but cream and honey is how he takes it, and I like it the same way. So
Honey's a different take. That's interesting.
yeah. But, for anyone who's saying it's not manly, like, Jack Carr's a Navy SEAL, so, if you want to say that that's like a sissy combination, take it up with him. I don't know if you'll last long, with that, take. How do you like your coffee?
Well, you know me. I've got my French press. So number one, I like my French press coffee. Sometimes I like it black, but normally I'll put a dash of chocolate milk in it.
Okay, I've actually never heard a dash of chocolate. Did you say chocolate milk?
Yes, chocolate milk in my coffee. Yes,
I've never heard of that.
it's because it gives it just enough of a taste of a mochaccino without completely making it a mochaccino.
Huh. I might actually have to try that. I will confess, I don't, so I'm not into the whole pumpkin spice latte thing because I'm not a white
Oh,
chick.
hell no.
But I will say Dunkin' Donuts has like a really good like what they call like a pumpkin nutty coffee that's really good, actually. It's like it has pumpkin syrup in it, but it's just like they put cream in it and then the pumpkin. It's like a much cheaper version, and none of the extra frilly stuff in a pumpkin spice latte, which is pretty good. But anyway, more. There was. Well, I don't know if we can really call it like an event, but there was something that happened this weekend. Apparently, according to a bunch of aged baby boomers, we have a king. Did you know about this?
So we're part of Great Britain now.
Apparently, I
didn't think we were Canadian.
Well, you say that, but see, the thing with it is, there were also like no king's protests in Canada too.
Well, it kind of makes sense in Canada because they're actually under a king.
Well, it would make sense, except that like for some reason they were protesting against Trump.
Newsflash, fuckers. He's duly elected. Eat shit.
Yeah, but like that's the weird thing. It's like, why would Canada be? I mean, I understand like Canada is the.
Are they admitting to being the 51st state?
You know what? That's actually a really good point you bring up. Like, they actually should. If they're gonna do that, then yeah, they kind of like.
If you're gonna protest Donald Trump down here in the states, just fucking let us annex you and be done with it.
I mean, listen, I would say for years that like I would not mind it if Trish Stratus automatically became a U.S. citizen. Said.
I mean, there are a lot of beautiful Canadian women, so I would have no problem with a lot of Canadian with a lot of Canada becoming part of the U.S.
Yeah, just so long as other Craig, not the good doctor, but the other one, as long as the other one stays over at California.
Yes, exactly, horny Craig. You stay over there.
So yeah. So yeah, I guess Canada like protesting against Trump, like that would make them the 51st state. But I actually had our Right to Offend Media crack research team do some research as to what No King's Day actually was. And by this, ladies and gentlemen, I mean that I simply
did George Soros find some of his money?
It's funny that you say that, Mort, because as I said, our crack research team, aka Grok, did some in-depth research and helped me prep for the show last night. So those of you watching will hopefully be able to see what's on screen, but for those of you listening on audio, so I was curious because one of the main kind of narratives that got pushed this weekend was that people from across the country of all walks of life and of all political persuasions too. That was another claim that I had read. Was that they were this was like a nationwide thing. Everyone was coming out to protest Trump's policies. And and they kept saying that young and old people were seeing at this thing alike. But yet, from all the videos I saw on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, and some of them will probably take a look at here tonight, they all seem to be baby boomers. So I asked research assistant Grok here, what was the general age demographic of the No Kings protests? And it took, usually Grok, he answers like instantly, but this took him like almost 2 minutes to figure out, doing the calculations of all this. So, in short, he says, the No Kings protests, a series of nationwide demonstrations against the Trump administration's policies and perceived authoritarian actions have occurred in multiple waves. Organized by groups like Indivisible and Move On. That's not slant at all.
Not at all.
These protests drew millions of participants across over 2,500 locations in the U.S. and internationally, focusing on issues like immigration raids, federal troop deployment, budget cuts, and erosion of democratic norms. Such as what? This is what they're all claiming. So here's the interesting thing, though, regarding the demographics. Based on the reporting from various outlets, the general age demographics of the participants were multi-generational and diverse. Young children, teenagers, young adults, middle-aged individuals, all that. However, some sources and observer accounts highlight a notable skew towards older adults, particularly those in their 60s, 70s, and beyonds, who were described as highly active and visible. This aligns with broader trends in progressive activisms, where retirees and boomers oftentimes have more flexibility to attend daytime events. So, yeah, that's a very kind way of saying that, like,
you mean USAID got cut, so people actually in the job market can't fucking take time off? Holy shit!
Yeah, well, that's also a very generous way of saying I think that, like, baby boomers are bored, and they needed to get out of their nursing home to do something, right? So, you know,
I thought that's what they had the board for.
well, I mean, more we all know that USAID was funding their bingo nights, so they're probably pissed about that. So they had to do that, right? They had to get out and protest against that. But in all seriousness,
Yep.
so here are the breakdown of the key demographics. All right. This is from multiple sources. So the New York Times, of all places, basically says that the majority of these protests are retiree age. There's one example they cited is 75, 78, and 80-year-old people, a couple walkers. There was one 17-year-old high school student, a 39-year-old with her 6-year-old daughter, and a 37-year-old with his 4-year-old son. Also, if you're a kid that young, how boring would it be to be at one of these protests if you're a little kid, right? To me, that would be
it'd be boring as shit because you wouldn't understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I mean that might not be child endangerment or anything.
You mean parents shoving politics onto their kids? No way.
Yeah. So the BBC News also says that the major demographic was 68 and 78-year-olds. Again, same with NPR, NBC, the 19 News, which I have no idea what that is, Reuters, and then basically
They took our USAID.
And then basically, like, all the, Twitter discussions were basically, all focused on boomers, right? So NPR, they covered how, Bernie Sanders, speaking of boomers, were speaking at these events. Because of course Bernie was, right? Like, I would actually be surprised if this wasn't a thing.
I'm surprised every time when that motherfucker doesn't show up.
I know, right? Republicans called a Hate America rally. National Guard was deployed. That's, I mean, these days, anytime like Antifa is bound to show up, like, the unfortunate thing is, National Guard might have to be deployed as precaution. It is good that there was no major violent reported. So then the BBC, also reported like a similar thing. And again, like, there were solidarity protests in Europe and Canada, which again, why? Like, I hadn't thought of this before you brought it up more, but you're absolutely right.
Hey, Britain, you fuckers actually have a king. Eat shit.
Well, yeah, but like, again, go back to your point about Canada. Like, dude, I hadn't thought about it. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, is Canada admitting to be the 51st state then? Like, they, the way they're going about this, it seems like they are. Basically more stuff from the New York Times. Oh, let's see. There are some clips here of all this. This ought to be fun. What do we want to watch first? More? Shall we watch Fox News's aerial coverage of this thing, or do you want to see Nancy Pelosi speak?
Let's see the old prune speak.
Okay. I don't. I feel bad. People say that I abuse more all the time, and I might, but this might be the most abusive thing I've subjected more to. Is this falls into what Mort and I like to call, we had to see it now, you do too. Okay, let me switch the
But the most powerful tool I've ever used is the same one that you hold in your hands right now, the ballot. The ballot is the most powerful tool in our democracy. As Americans, our vote is our power, our Constitution is our guide, and we the people are the heartbeat of democracy. Know your power and show your power by voting today. Right now, Trump and Republicans are illegally gerrymandering congressional maps by violating voting rights act and trying to ban mail-in voting. How about that? The mail method that most of you and our servicemen and women in uniform overseas use to vote. The Republican plan is clear and right out of Project 2025. Rig the system, undermine democracy, and escape accountability.
Okay, so first off, for those listening, I don't know if you could hear that more. Hopefully you could. Not that it really matters.
Got enough, yeah.
So when they say that Pelosi spoke at the rally, no, she didn't. Because what Moore and I just played here, was basically, she basically made like a video that was like played on like a jumbotron somewhere, talking about the midterms. Imagine my shock.
So what you're saying is a Pelosi staffer cut together a video, and she has no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, come on, Bort. Let's be serious here, though.
It has nothing to do with insider trading, so she's not really involved.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Nancy, like, at all, like the past, 10 years?
That bitch be the crypt keeper.
Did you ever see Arrested Development at all?
Occasionally.
When that show was on?
Occasionally.
Nancy Pelosi reminds me of the mom character. I can't remember who is always hitting the sauce.
Oh, absolutely. That woman wouldn't survive without hitting the sauce. That bitch has fucking pickled herself.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi, and I've actually heard this from people like who I know on the Hill. She literally day drinks like a large portion of the time. That's not even like
that
that's
bitch probably day drinks before fucking noon.
I mean, to be fair, to be fair, more, I might day drink too if I had to deal with Congress every day. But I would definitely try not to. And I would imagine that like selling your soul to every national interest can be quite taxing too.
That's how she gets away with all the insider trading. She sold parts of her soul.
Well, yeah. So that was fun. Okay, so then we have...
What I did catch with that little speech of hers is that Americans get to vote. So Americans voted in Donald Trump, therefore he's not a king. Eat shit, Nancy Pelosi.
Well, yeah, she also said something like about about the Republican shutdown, which, hey, bitch, that was your part of it. Shut down the government over healthcare for illegals. That wasn't us this time. And yeah, and notice it's gone on for like 21 days at this point. I think maybe
almost a month at this point.
Yeah. And I saw something like even John Fetterman was saying that this is getting ridiculous. Like, I swear to God, I think.
When the brain damaged Democrat is speaking sense, that's a problem.
Well, dude, like, we used to
No,
make fun.
I actually give him credit. He's speaking
Yeah,
truth to power at this point because he's actually standing up against his own party.
yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, but like, yeah, it is also like, it is also interesting that the one guy who is making sense in that party literally has brain damage, and like, I don't know, dude. I think he might.
I've heard rumors of him being kicked out of the party.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tulsi. I just want to. I want to remind people that Milfa Gabbard, as I call her, she used to be a Dem, very prominently so, until she got kicked out, like, 3 years ago. So, like, it honestly wouldn't surprise me if Fetterman were on the chopping block.
Come on, John. Cross over to the Reds.
I mean, listen, John, we have all the cool people with brain damage on our side.
We will actually talk to you about the things that you disagree with us about. We're not going to fucking toss you out of the party because of a disagreement.
Yeah. Not at all.
Especially for your 1% disagreement.
Not at all. So, let's see here. Let's see. There was some aerial coverage of this from Fox News too. Let's see. So that's so for those watching and or listening on the podcast, basically one of the local Fox affiliates, like in New York, is doing like a Skycam view of Manhattan, and
New York has had bigger parades than this.
Yeah, that's true. Also, yeah, totally not organized at all. Yeah.
Super energetic crowd.
Very energetic. And again, like, okay, I'm seeing like some like 40-something-year-olds, but like, yeah, mostly just from this, they all look to be like aged baby boomers. Here.
Hey, it's Adam with Vanish.
So yeah, there's
Baby boomers are freaking early college age students. I'm like, okay, that's odd.
Yeah. So, let's see here. So, okay, so as I said this morning, so I asked about, the general age demographic. I think we have that covered. So then here's your question. Here's the question that everyone's been asking, right?
Right.
Okay, so who is funding these protests? Okay. So basically Grok says that they've compiled like a list of all this, yada yada. Okay. So, funding overview and key claims. The protests are coordinated by a coalition led by Indivisible and Move On, involving over 200 groups like the ACLU, Black Voters Matter, and labor unions, SEIU, AFL-CIO, etc. Not left-wing slanted at all, guys.
No.
Funding appears to blend small dollar donations, union support, and major grants from Progressive Foundation. Critics argue that this creates manufactured activism while organized or is described as amplified grassroots energy. Yeah, right. Now here's the interesting thing though. Public records show millions funneled through dark money networks, but exact allocations to protests versus general operations are opaque. Now,
I thought the Democrats like ALC were against dark money.
yeah, you would think so. Okay, so who's at the top of this list?
Soros.
Mortheous.
Soros.
Soros. The Open Society Foundation. That's interesting. I didn't think that Soros was involved
That's what
in
they've been trying to tell us.
political operations. Again, the Tides Network, which I believe is another Soros like funded organization, which is a hub for progressive causes, and also they've been accused of funding the anti-Israel protests too, which that's well.
I mean, wasn't Soros' father an actual Nazi?
Well, not just that, dude. Have you seen the video? I'll pull it up. Have you seen the video of Soros talking about the Nazis?
I may have, but it's been a while.
Okay, let me I'll see if I can pull that up maybe for here, because it's like there's actually an interview where Soros talks about like just how much he loves he was actually like involved like in rounding up the Jews themselves.
Wasn't he specifically part of the Hitler Youth or something?
I don't know if he was like part of the Hitler Youth, but so basically what the Nazis would do is they would basically like coerce Jewish teenagers to like rat out on their neighbors, and usually the threat was do this or else we'll kill you.
Die.
But let me see if I can find it here because it's been a while since I've seen it too. Okay. Let's see, George Soros. Okay, let's okay, yeah, this is it. So yeah, the interview George Soros doesn't want you to see. So yeah, this is where he talks how he was involved with the Nazis, and also how he's financially collapsing the markets too. But this is from back in 1997.
No. In the last 2 years, you've been blamed for financial collapse of Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, and Russia.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Are you that powerful?
No, I think there's a great misunderstanding. I am basically there to make money. I cannot and do not look at the social consequences of what I do. As a competitor, I've got to compete to win. As a human being, I am concerned about the society in which I live.
Which George Soros am I talking to now? The amoral George Soros or the moral George Soros?
It's one person. It's one person who at one time engages in amoral activities and at the rest of the time tries to be moral.
You're a Hungarian Jew who...
So basically that in and of itself is like really bad, because essentially what he's saying is, well,
Fuck morals, I want money.
well, yeah, he's basically also saying he's like, yeah, I'll admit I'm a sociopath straight up. So like that right there with him like admitting to collapsing markets, like that's bad enough as is, right?
Right.
But now here's the part that a lot of people, and for the uninitiated, whenever you hear people talking about George Soros and why people hate him so much, especially conservative Jews like Craig, who I see is in chat, like, yeah, this is why people hate the motherfucker.
Time tries to be moral.
You're a Hungarian Jew who escaped the Holocaust by posing as a Christian.
Right.
And you watched lots of people get shipped off to the death camps.
Right. I was 14 years old. And I would say that that's when my character was made.
In what way?
That one should think ahead, one should understand and anticipate events, and one is threatened. It was a tremendous threat of evil. I mean, it was a very personal experience of evil.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours who swore that you were his adopted godson.
Yes, yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right. Yes.
I mean, that sounds like an experience that would send lots of people to the psychiatric couch for many, many years. Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the connection, but it was.
When he says not at all,
I'm sorry. Even at fucking 14 goddamn years old, you know right from wrong.
yeah, if he was 10, okay, maybe. But yeah, by fucking 14, you damn well know, right? You damn well know right from wrong. Now, granted, at 14, teenagers do a lot of stupid shit. but that's not like, yeah, basic right and wrong and like morality and like compassion for your human being. Like that's something that gets like, molded in early
Not all of us are fucking iDubbbz that only form empathy at fucking 30 fucking two.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. That's another who knows? Maybe George and iDubbbz are just like super white bloomers in that way. But yeah, also I mean, let me scroll back a bit too.
Experience that would send lots of people to the psychiatric couch for many, many years. Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't.
The fucking smirk on his
One of the
face
creepiest fucking smirks out there.
as he talks about like sending his
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. That fucking smirk. Oh my god.
yeah.
Gives me goddamn chills.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the same. So yeah. Oh, conservatives think George Soros is the why is George Soros the conservative boogeyman? For this exact reason. We're literally looking at the clip, and by the way, you can see this on YouTube, and we will link this in the show notes here.
You don't see the connection, but it created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt.
No.
For example, that I'm Jewish, and here I am watching these people go. I could just as easily be there. I should be there. None of that.
Well, of course,
I get it. There's something.
I could be on the other side, or I could be the.
Preserving oneself, but there's a difference between doing what you have to preserve oneself and then being a fucking rat.
Well, and also, smiling at like that's the whole thing. Is like
smiling about it fucking decades later.
Yeah, gleefully talking about it almost, and how yeah, and so again, this is the same guy who basically he collapses every monetary system. I will say this: if any of you have read any of the books in the Sins of the in the Shadows of Deception saga, like Soros, and I don't say explicitly, although I'll say explicitly here now, like I based the big bad of the series on Soros. People have asked me if he's the basis, and so yes, I'm here to say now that Soros is absolutely, and I'm not even sure I could make Alfred Logan as evil as George Soros. That's pretty tall order there. Anyway, though, going back to the going back into the show prep. So yeah, more basically like yeah, all the basically all these foundations, like a lot of them were mostly Soros money, although we also have the Ford Foundation, which is unfortunate. We have the Rockefeller Foundation, which doesn't really surprise me. Warren Buffett, which that is a little disappointing, but again, not surprising. And then, unions and stuff. So yeah, the totally grassroots, no King's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Yay, let's hear it. So
It's totally organic, don't you know?
yeah. Now it's too bad that Max wasn't here tonight, because if he was, I would ask Max, because I know that he was involved in the in the straight pride parade in Boston. I wanted to ask him, like, how organized that was, as like an event. But I guess, like, I'll ask you, more, since you're here. Have you ever, like, participated in any, like, political event, like, in person?
Can't really say that I have. I don't remember. I've been involved in a couple parades back in the day, but nothing the size of a No King's Day or any or BLM, those marches, any of that. No.
Yeah, I mean, uh, fair enough. I thought I'd ask. You know, like, I went to a few, like, I organized, like, a few, like, free speech, events, like, in college, that were, like, organized by the college Republicans and the Young Americans for Liberty. So yeah, those, I guess, were the groups that, like, supported, Constitution Day on campus, but nothing like this. And my co-chapter president Thomas and I, we had to do the heavy lifting, literally, of, like, getting the signs and stuff,
Getting the
for
signs, getting the permits, and all that happy shit.
yeah. And fight and kind of, well, I mean, the administration at USF wasn't that bad, because, I mean, it is Florida, but still, there were a few administrators that kind of wanted to push back on, Free Speech Day, because they didn't want college students writing, like, racial slurs or anything like
Right.
that.
Okay. The only thing that I can kind of equate that to is back in the olden times, back when I was still in high school, I was very, very, very heavy into Magic the Gathering. So I tried organizing a school club specifically for Magic the Gathering, because there wasn't one. I got to the point where I almost had a uh, teacher signed on as the chaperone or whatever, but then the administration got involved, and we're like, we can't do this because of how the cards look. We don't want backlash from the community and the people, the religious people in the community.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah,
And
so I almost got the club up and running, but what they did say is, we can't stop you from gathering before or after school at the lunch tables. So that's basically what we did.
yeah, I mean, times have changed, man, because now they would probably penalize you, because, no, now they would penalize you if you didn't have, like, enough diverse groups in your Magic the Gathering. event. I
Oh,
would.
that's the funny. As far as diversity, you would have had me in the wheelchair. There was legitimately one black kid in my graduating class. So yeah.
Yeah, but more, and apologies, I was gathering my charger cable real quick. But more, what about the LGBT crowd at
Oh,
your?
I'm sure we had uh, non-straight people in the group,
Yeah, but
and they
like
were more than welcome to come and play.
yeah, but like how many of them were trans in your
This is early 2000s, so probably none.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like that is another thing. Like it is wild, man. Like um, you know, like I'm younger than you, but like when uh, neither of us when we were in high school, like the alphabet like mafia subculture like wasn't even a thing when I was really in high school even. It was kind of starting with like the lesbian and gay thing, but like that was it. Um, Nobody believed that you were bisexual at all. It was like no, you kind of you have to pick one.
Right.
So
I'm pretty sure we had bisexual girls in the class. We definitely had gays of both sides, and we even had a female kicker on the varsity football team.
that's interesting. And also like I've heard from a few women that all women are bisexual. I don't know if that's true, but that's what
Well,
she claimed.
my belief is, at least since my generation, as most women have at least experimented with bisexuality.
Yeah. It's mostly guys that like have to pick a side. So
Right.
uh
Girls can be greedy. It's those guys that can be.
yeah. But anyway, so that's the No Kings protest for you more just a bunch of boomers and I will like I am curious now. I might have to ask Grok this like live while we're on the show. Um okay. Why why was Canada involved in the I should have asked this like earlier in the day before the show, but uh this should be interesting. All right, so I'm asking Grok like why the Canadians are involved in the No King stuff. Uh okay. So I'm having to like do some deep research on like why Canada was involved. Okay, so you weren't wrong. Apparently the 51st state quip really pissed him off.
Good. Fuck him.
And so that was one of the reasons why they
Then stop acting like the 51st state, Canada.
I'm not sure bro, Canada, do you guys understand?
Here's a question for Canada. Could you defend yourself if you were attacked if we didn't get involved?
Well, that is a good question. And to be fair, I'm pretty sure that the Canadian mountain men could could take a few
They could definitely try to hold things off. It's a matter. My question is, how long would it take?
Yeah. Again, and then there's something relating to the tariffs, which Canada had tariffs on us for years though too. So yeah. Oh, I guess their labor unions were protesting this again. Why? That just seems really weird. So Canada, what are we gonna do with you? That's what I want to know. Craig and chat, way,
No prunes.
yeah. Yeah.
What about prune juice, Craig?
Well,
gotta stay regular with those boomers.
I mean, I think probably there was probably a lot of prune juice, at the No Kings, event. So anyway, let me see here. I do have a few other topics I'd like to cover. One of them basically let me first off ask you more. You said you had a potential gaming thing that you wanted to talk about. So
over the weekend there was a I guess it's a Fortnite tournament called the Milk Cup, and it's supposed to be a all-female tournament. Top two were a female and a biological male, aka transgender.
So that's still going on then.
Well, yeah, people are still going on about it, and it's probably going to be one of our topics for Friday. But my first question is, why is a presumably all female gaming tournament called the Milk Cup? That's my first question. Sounds kind of sexist to me.
I would agree. Yeah, I mean,
Because let's face it, us gamers, we're pretty fucking juvenile as far as our humor is concerned. So the Milk Cup is not something I would name a tournament.
yeah, that's probably not a
I don't care who the fuck the sponsors supposedly are. That's not something you name a tournament full of people that are notorious for their quote unquote crass or rude humor.
Yeah. Well, I do know, not to get like too far off into gaming, but like all like games journos are melting down over the fact, like all I've been seeing in the gaming world, and maybe it's just because my algorithm is like the way it is on X, I don't know. But I'm seeing game journos just melt down like left and right over Ghost of Yotai.
Oh yeah, but they're melting down over Ghost of Yotai, and right now they're also melting down over the new Pokemon game, Pokemon ZA.
Well, and my whole thing on the whole Ghost of Yotai thing is like, okay, my biggest thing is like, um aside from the lead actress being like an Antifa uh you know commie, basically all it is a gender swapped, like, as far as I can tell, remake of the first one, almost. Ghost of
Right, it's a gender swap remake, absolutely.
And not only that, but, like, the way they ended Ghost of Tsushima, and I'll send you, the video more, but, like, basically at the end of Ghost of Tsushima, we were led to believe that Jin Sakai, the ghost, would have more adventures. That was kind of like, it was clear to me that they were setting up like a Ghost of Tsushima 2. And then Ghost of Yotai, I guess, takes like place 300 years after the events of the first one. And like you get to visit Jin's grave, I guess, but they don't ever actually explain like how his story like ended, or what other adventures he went on, if any.
That's dumb.
And more than anything, I think that's why Ghost of Tsushima fans like me are disappointed. It's not just because of all the commie, BS. It's because, like, dude, you guys started a story and then just didn't finish it. So, but that's my gamer rant.
They didn't finish it because they thought they thought the message was too important.
Well, yeah, and probably because, like, let's be honest, Sweet Baby Inc. probably gave them
Gotta love FBI.
yeah. Well, love isn't really a word that I would use when describing my feelings about SBI. I wouldn't really say hate is either
me either.
because like I don't really the thing of it is I don't really care about like SBI itself at this point enough to like hate them. I think that like
Organizations like SBI need to not exist and let us go back to actually making and playing good games.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, this
Because to
whole
me, the issue with SBI,
Oh, go ahead.
my overall my issue with SBI is they're more concerned with the message of the game that they're involved in, with literally everything else what involves making a game be damned.
Yeah, well, I mean, so my take on SBI as I understand it, and I might be completely wrong here. Um although I don't think I am, to be fair. But on the off chance I am, my understanding is that like SBI is just like one of these woke organizations. And that there are multiple ones of them. That basically there are like other SBI like offshoots out there, from my understanding.
Unfortunately,
So yeah, I kind of figured that was the case. But anyway, and speaking of woke, you know, we talk about the woke left on this program a lot. But lately, ever since the Charlie Kirk assassination happened, I've been hearing a lot of talk about the woke right. Um, and I've been hearing this term for a while now, and it's interesting. I didn't really know what the term meant, but long story short, I guess when people refer to the woke right, they mean basically this this group of people like Nick Fuentes, like Candace Owens, who are basically like embracing the whole thing of like Hitler wasn't that bad, and spewing anti-Semitism and other.
to me, it's a mixture of that as well as the purity testing that the left likes to likes that in as well, which unfortunately the right likes that as well.
Yeah, yeah. So Douglas K. Murray, who does like a lot of investigative journalism on the Israel-Gaza conflict, he was on Rogan's podcast like 6 months ago talking about this. Now, people say that Douglas Murray is a left winger. I don't know about that. Everything I've heard from him, even in like the past couple of years, seems to be like more moderate, if anything. But so I asked what the woke right was, and someone sent me this clip yesterday. So I won't share who sent this to me, but I do think it's interesting, and I kind of want to take a listen to it, especially because a lot of people, myself included, are kind of a bit concerned that this is unfortunately the direction that the right may be taking now that Charlie Kirk is gone. But I wanted to kind of you know play this and do some commentary and also get your opinion on it more. So let's take a listen. So this is a compilation of the woke right that Douglas K. Murray tried to warn Joe Rogan about.
I will find something that he did that I wouldn't have done, because if I'd have been running the British Empire, I will find something that he did that I wouldn't have done, because if I'd have been running the British Empire in 1939, I'd have known exactly how to do it, and I'd have known how to hold the whole thing together, and I'd have kept Stalin back, and he'd have been great at Yalta, and this is...
But I don't think anybody's...
Okay, so this is one of the other things, I guess, like Fuentes and Candace Owens have been talking about. What Murray's referring here to more...
Are you going to put that up on the screen?
Oh yeah, is it not? Is it?
Nope.
Okay.
Not for me.
Yeah. Thanks. My bad. Okay. So what Murray is referring to here. So they start out this conversation because one of the things, and I only tangentially looked into this, but I guess there's like a group of people out there who are now saying that like Winston Churchill was actually the bad guy in World War II.
That's weird.
Which yeah, I mean, listen, I've got Churchill's biography on my Kindle, and I've also got and I'm in the middle of reading Ian Fleming's biography, who, Ian Fleming famously created James Bond and worked for Churchill during the war, or I guess served under Churchill. So yeah, Churchill, not a bad dude. But the narrative from some of these woke right people seems to be Churchill bad, Hitler good. Which, okay.
Creepy.
Yeah. So...
I will find something that he did that I wouldn't have done, because if I'd have been running the British Empire in 1939, I'd have known exactly how to do it, and I'd have known how to hold the whole thing together, and I'd have kept Stalin back, and he'd have been great at Yalta, and this is...
But I don't think anybody's saying that.
Yeah. And maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic, maybe. But I told him, maybe trying to provoke him a little bit, that I thought Churchill was the chief villain of the Second World War. Now, he didn't kill the most people. He didn't commit the most atrocities, but I believe, and I think when you really get into it and tell the story right and don't leave anything out, you see that he was primarily responsible for that war becoming what it did.
He and these other guys are all doing the anti-Churchill stuff now.
But he's not doing an anti-Churchill stuff.
Okay.
You know, the circles I float in, it wasn't that crazy of a thing to say. It's like, yeah, we all know Churchill is the villain. I thought that was common knowledge.
But you can't say he helped his country. I was in London 2 weeks ago. Like that, they didn't win the war in any meaningful way. Like he wrecked the country.
No, but the question is like, where's the victory? I don't understand. Like, everyone wants to yell at you for not loving Churchill. Okay, well, show me the victory.
Because we've all been so brainwashed by the school system to believe that, oh, look how great things are. Let me ask you about your country. Do you think that your country has become greater since? Has our country become greater since? Absolutely not.
Brutal war.
Okay, so real quick regarding the Churchill stuff. So most of what they're referring to, I guess, is because of Britain's like mass migration, which by the time that happened in the 60s, in the like all that left-wing progressivism that started in the 60s after Winston Churchill died. You morons. And yeah, like Britain got the shit kicked out of it in World War II, but that wasn't that wasn't Churchill's doing. Like, the Blitzkrieg, none of that. Did none of you take history class? I guess not. This gets weirder though.
Yeah, it was existential threat because if Germany won, they would have seized Russia, and who knows what the world would look like today.
Right. It's hard to say. Worse, better, we have no idea to know, right?
World War II was perhaps the greatest catastrophe in human history. And the starting point of any discussion about it must be that of all the possible outcomes that could have resulted from events leading up to the conflict, the one that ended up happening was the worst of all.
But there still is just the basic facts that it almost couldn't have gone worse.
Sorry, I just have to address that fundamental. You say the outcome of World War II and everything that happened in it was the worst thing that's ever happened, and the worst thing imaginable, worst possible outcome, you said.
No. Just about.
You said worst possible outcome. Let me give you a much worse possible outcome. Hitler wins.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that is the worst possible outcome. There's an entire series of games about that. Wolfenstein. There's also like The Man in the High Castle that, examines that very thing. And yeah, like it was the worst possible outcome. I will say this, it wasn't fucking great that like the Soviet Union sprouted up after World War II, but like the Russians let's make something clear, like the Russians and Stalin, like they weren't really our friends before World War II either. So yeah. And now we're getting to I guess my favorite part of this compilation.
Okay,
Sure.
so it's not the worst possible outcome.
I mean,
That's true.
Listen, but okay, Hitler, yes, okay. I'm not saying you can't dream up a worse outcome.
Do you decide to go, hey, what else have we been lied to? Maybe Churchill wasn't a great guy. Maybe Hitler wasn't such a bad guy. Maybe the Holocaust, etc., etc.
Nobody
And that is
is saying that.
exactly
No
what
one is saying maybe Hitler wasn't such a bad guy.
Because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination.
To transcribe Hitler's speeches in English. Yeah. I was like, oh, this dude's probably racist as shit. He's probably going to say the N-word every... Right now, I was like, oh my gosh.
He's just very pro-Germany. Like,
listen to what he's talking about, and it's like, fuck, this sounds like the problems we're having today. Like, he was trying to, like, encourage community, encourage, family values, remove the perversion.
By the way, Dan Bilzerian talking at, like, removing perversion is, that's a little rich.
Right.
So, and yeah, I mean, I guess Dan's like, he's so irrelevant now. He has to go, in this direction. That's a little weird.
You know, he wanted to instill morals. I mean, was he a good guy or not? I don't fucking know. I wasn't there, but I was told that he is the worst guy in the fucking history of the world, and that's for sure not true.
Hitler was awesome. Hitler was right. And the Holocaust didn't happen.
I like Hitler. I do not. The Holocaust is not what happened.
Well, of course, the gay cat boy is gonna say that with glee because newsflash, that's essentially how he's gotten his that's how he's gotten his fame. Kanye West famously here, as you're going to see again, like, first off, dude, that balaclava or whatever you have on your head is fucking weird. The one good thing to come out of that interview was the fact that CNN actually had to defend Alex Jones. And
that was hilarious.
Yeah. When you've got CNN defending Alex Jones, when you're so extreme that even Alex Jones is saying whoa, hold on. That's not a good sign.
Let's look at the facts of that. And Hitler has a lot of redeeming qualities.
She said something along the lines of, 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust. And I was like, oh my God, bro, here we fucking. I'm just so sick of hearing that, you playing along with something that you just know is bullshit.
They experimented on twins. I mean, some of the stories, by the way, sound completely absurd. I mean, like the idea that they just cut a human up and then sewed them back together. Why would you do that? Literally, even if you're the most evil person in the world, that's a tremendous waste of time and supplies. Just slice a person in half and sew them together. That just sounds like bizarre propaganda.
There is a portion of the right across the West that is playing this very dark game, and they're doing it deliberately, and you can't not be aware of that.
And, even though it's a minority, he's not wrong. The reason why I bring this up, even folks, and I would be curious to hear your take on this more. Maybe I'm overreacting, but in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, this is something that has actually bothered me for honestly a month. Because ever since the Charlie Kirk assassination happened, I've been seeing these weirdos, and Candace Owens especially is guilty of this. She's been spreading all sorts of conspiracy theories that first off, she's been spreading that Israel was involved in Charlie's death somehow because he was pulling away from some of the pro-Israel stuff. Okay, that's not really surprising, coming, that you would say something like that. She's done that whole rant before. But she and Fuentes are both now saying stuff that Erica Kirk was somehow involved in Charlie's assassination.
Why the hell would his now widow be? To our knowledge, there was no quote unquote marital issues, right?
Right. No.
So why would she be part of that?
Well, because she wants the organization for herself, supposedly. And there's also this weird theory out there that that they met at the Bohemian Grove or something, and that she's, because she was a Miss America winner, that she's somehow tied into the whole thing with like Jeffrey Epstein and all the pageant people, and it's just this is my problem with conspiracy theories, folks, is you can literally draw connections to anything if you try hard enough. If you dig hard enough, I bet you Mortheous and I are somehow connected to the
You dig hard enough. Sam and I are connected to fucking JFK, even though neither of us were fucking born at the time.
Well,
my mother was just born.
I will say this, like, my my grandfather, like my grandfather was now long since passed. Technically, he was my step grandfather. He was involved in he was involved in he was a tank commander in World War II. And then during the Vietnam War, like he was involved in the Special Activities Division, which was linked to the CIA. So I guess to some people, like, that would make me a CIA asset or something.
God damn it, Sam! I knew it. Gonna have to tell Max.
Yeah, well, the secret's out. I really am a secret agent. I'm the real
agent, man.
I'm the real secret agent, man. So, but yeah, I mean, Charlie Kirk's widow being tied, like, and that's the other thing, like, if she really wanted a turning point for herself or something, like, why not? Why kill Charlie Kirk? Why not just divorce him and like
that would have been the easy route.
Yeah, that would have been the way easier route. But I mean, clearly they didn't have marital issues. They seemed deeply in love with each other. Unfortunately, like, I only knew Charlie like tangentially way before they met each other. And I can guarantee you, like, I only talked to Charlie once on Skype, and I had communicated with him like a couple of times on Twitter, and in a couple of group texts and whatnot. I can say without a doubt that he would laugh at all these conspiracy theories surrounding his death.
Well, here's my take on it, Sammy. If you look at all of the people that are now having conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk's assassination, I bet you would find that the breakdown is along the lines of the people that have left the left behind, that the right scooped up, that are only on the right because of the left going completely fucking nuts and they're politically homeless, whereas you've got people that again, political homeless are the ones that are the conspiracy theorists. The ones that are actually right-leaning aren't.
Yeah, no, that's really, yeah, that's a good point. A lot of the people who are dreaming up all these conspiracy theories, they weren't, with the exception of Candace, they weren't at a turning point. Like, the people I knew, they never knew, the day-to-day operations. And furthermore, like, I guess relating to the whole, Hitler not being such a bad guy, like, the whole thing with that is that, like, I guess I guess there's some speculation, or whatnot, or there's this train of thought that, well, the government lied to us about COVID, and they lied to us about, Epstein, and so what else are they lying to us about? And so
Everything.
yeah, and so there's that whole and like I to a certain extent, like I get it, there's mistrust, like, and it's one thing to question the authority, but like I'm telling you folks, there is so much evidence, so much documented evidence. Furthermore than that, like I was fortunate enough, like my grandfather, Al, who I mentioned, my step grandfather, the dude was like 86 when he died, but prior to that, like I would talk to him when I was, in my early teens, and he knew I was into history and whatnot. Dude was a pretty well, there's no way to put it, like he was pretty much like a hardcore alcoholic. But he's the one person who I kind of give like a pass on being like a hardcore alcoholic, because he was a tank commander at 19 in World. No, well, he first off, he joined when he was 17 in World War II. He was a tank commander at the Battle of the Bulge. At 19, he saw like some of his best friends get killed in action. And he also liberated, I think, Dachau. And like, and it disturbed him even then, like, like back in the 2000s, that there were people who were, denying that the Holocaust happened. Like he had dementia, and he couldn't remember, like, towards the end, like he couldn't remember, like, what he had for breakfast. But there were moments where, like, you could see this look in his eye, and it was like he was like 19, 20 again, like back, in the trenches, and like liberating, bringing people out of the camps. So, for me to grow up, seeing that and experiencing that, and then for people to deny that the Holocaust even happened, like, it's a slippery slope, and I don't. I would hope that more people are smarter than that. I think I definitely think that there's something to be said for questioning authority, but I don't think we should necessarily question our ancestors and what they actually documented and went through. So I don't know. I'm sure I'll be called like a Zionist shill or something yet again for that. But that's kind of my whole take on the thing. And I just kind of wanted to cover that real quick.
Reasonable. And overall, my question is, what is our U.S. government ever honest about? Ever?
Yeah, well, I mean, the funny thing about that is, like, you know, back in the 40s, or no, back in the 30s, I think FDR was denying that like the Holocaust was happening, even though we had like intelligence, reports that it was. So yeah, like again, it's the it's the left denying of genocides. So, but yeah, you bring up a good point. So, so yeah, I've kind of had that rant, built up over the past weeks. And as I told more, before the show, and as I've said, Max, like I don't think it's, necessarily a good thing that like, Fuentes is trying to like, take Charlie Kirk's spot. He's not going to. The dude's too much of a
He's too much of an edgy boy.
Yeah, he's too much he's too much of a spaz too. But it is very like weird to me that like my old channel got like completely censored. Max's videos have gotten censored on YouTube, and yet like Fuentes is even though his channel is getting banned, like a lot of his clip channels are getting recommended without me even searching for him, and he's getting profiled, by the New York Times and BuzzFeed and all this. And let me just say this: if I were a leftist, Fuentes is the exact same. Fuentes is the exact same, type of guy who I would want to plant, in the conservative movement to make us look bad. So, I don't think that's unreasonable, to think, because he says some of the most, wild, out there stuff. And when he's actually, called on his actual conservative bona fides, he folds. So, don't let the Catboy Fuhrer fool you. That's all I'm saying.
How about we throw the Catboy, the Catboys in the same room? You put Fuentes and Keffels in the same room.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't want to think about that.
I bet you they'd get along.
Oh, well, no, I think they actually do. Like I'm pretty sure Mr. Medical actually did a stream about that where like Keffels was banning people on behalf of Fuentes.
Wouldn't even be surprised.
So yeah. Anywho, I just had to get that rant out of the way. Would not be surprised if some bad actors tried and flag my current YouTube channel now, but we'll see. But anyway, more what is on the docket for Bits and Bones, my friend?
Well, Bits and Bones Friday, 10 p.m. Probably 10:05 p.m. EST on Friday. We'll start off with the milk tournament and go into that because I'm pretty sure I've got a rant involving that. That's boiling. It just makes no sense that we've got a supposed all-female space and they're okay with transgenders taking it over.
Well, trans women are women, though. More. Did you not receive the memo on that? That's what.
I'm going to press X to doubt there, Sammy.
Yeah. The fact that,
because I'm pretty sure the pheromones that they put off prove otherwise.
Yeah, well, the pheromones that they put out reek more than I do after I haven't taken a shower.
I'm pretty sure those pheromones attract a Fuentes.
Probably. No, no, completely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. The woke right and the woke left are the same. Are two sides of the same weird coin, and they're both too extreme, and yet they both, keep getting propped up by by corporate media. But yet we're too offensive here at Right to Defend Media, for corporate press, and that's why we appreciate you, the folks at home, for watching. So anyway, folks, Bits and Bones, Friday night, Mortheous, Tim, and Joe and myself. I believe Tim will also be having a gift card giveaway, like he mentioned last week. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that Max and Maxine. Well, I don't know. If Max is sick, they might not actually do a show this weekend, but I don't want to assume. So stay tuned for details.
I always assume they're doing a show until we hear otherwise.
Regarding that, and then I'm hoping to hear back from a guest from Monday's program, but there are no guarantees at this point because, well, 2025. We've had good guests so far this year, but lately, it's been a little inconsistent with booking guests. But we'll try and get more people on here soon. Regardless, though, we really do appreciate you for supporting us and for supporting Wishful Support. Again, buy the book, Sins of the Assassin, and Night of the Vigilante, and the entire Shadows of Dissecting saga. Links will be in the description below for that. Follow me on Twitter at @Samir_NGC.
Follow me on X at Mortheous. It's MORTHEOUS.
And follow Max at BlameMaxSand and Right to Defend Media at RTO Media. And we really do appreciate you tuning in, folks. And we hope you have a good night. Take care, folks.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless, God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.